I'm Renfield, and you're watching Transylvania Tonight with Drac and Countess Carita. Hey, who are you guys? I am he, as you are he. What? As you are me. So you mean that we are all together? Exactly. Isn't that what we just said? We're the voices inside your head. I'm going to need a bigger head. And probably a bigger hat. What size batteries do you guys take?
I'm Countess Carita, and welcome to Transylvania Tonight. You know, here on Transylvania Tonight, we try to mix up the movie genres that we show. Recently, we've been showing a lot of comedies and silent films, but tonight's movie is going to feature one of the true masters of horror. To tell you more about that, here's the king of the vampires, my deadest Drac.
Oh, thanks, honey bat. Oh, wasn't that sweet of her? It was nice of Carita to say that I was the master of horror. And of course, you know, I appreciate the sentiment, but I don't know if I'd go as far to say, you know, that I'm the master of horror. But it does have a nice ring to it, doesn't it? Master of horror. Drac. Master of horror.
Drac?
Yeah, Bob?
Carita wasn't talking about you.
What?
No, she was talking about the star of tonight's film.
She was?
Yes.
Are you sure?
Pretty sure, boss.
Oh, okay. Well, I knew Carita wasn't talking about me. I was just kidding, you know. She was talking about some other master of horror. Yeah. So, let's start the show. Hey, Bob.
Yeah, boss.
Are you sure she wasn't talking about me?
Yeah, positive.
Well, at least he called me boss. Oh, and you know what? When you think tonight's show's over, stay tuned. Because at the end of tonight's show, we're going to be running a special interview that I did back in 2019, and you don't want to miss it. So, stay tuned. Some other master of horror.
Not even close to being live from the Borgo Pass, it's Transylvania Tonight with your hosts, that award-winning King of the Vampires, Drac, and Countess Carita, the darling of the undead. Join Drac and Carita for tonight's feature film, Dick Tracy Meets Gruesome.
I'm Drac, she's Countess Carita, and welcome to Transylvania Tonight.
We have a great show for you tonight. Tonight we're going to be featuring comic book and comic strip characters.
Carita, I thought you said tonight's show was going to feature one of the masters of horror.
We'll get there, Drac. Hold your horses.
Carita, I don't have any horses.
Don't put your cart before the horse.
I just told you I don't have any horses. See, there's the problem. She just never listens to me. It goes in one ear and right out the other.
Let's get things started with a trip down to Cupcake's Cartoon Cottage. Would you like that, Drac?
No. No, you know what? I hate cartoons, and I can't stand Cupcake and Cuddles.
Great. I thought you'd like that.
See? In one ear and right out the other. I mean, come on. I like cartoons, and I adore Cupcake and Cuddles,
Take it away, Cupcake and Cuddles.
So, Carita, after the show tonight, would you like to go shopping?
Sure.
But she always manages to hear that. Know what I mean?
Cupcake here. And you know, Cuddles. We're so glad to see you today, boys and girls. The people watching us aren't boys and girls. They're adolescents. Teenagers. The people watching us are giants. That's a great idea, Cuddles. Let's look and see what's inside the magic box. What do you think could be inside? Could it be a puppy? Could it be ice cream? Could it be a stinky dead fish? Well, let's look and see. It's a cartoon! Before we watch this cartoon, we have something to say about it. I've seen people like Leonard Maltin and Whoopi do this kind of thing when they're showing old Disney cartoons. This cartoon contains stereotypes that could be viewed as hurtful and are looked down on today. So we'll be looking at this cartoon as a historical artifact of the era in which it was made. But it should be noted that in no way do we condone the use of hurtful stereotypes in this cartoon. So let's get to it, faster than a speeding bullet.
Up in the sky, look! It's a bird! It's a plane! It's Superman! Faster than a speeding bullet. More powerful than a locomotive. Able to soar higher than any plane. This amazing stranger from the planet Krypton, the Man of Steel, Superman. Possessing remarkable physical strength, Superman fights a never-ending battle for truth and justice, disguised as a mild-mannered newspaper reporter, Clark Kent.
Lois Lane of the Daily Planet.
Clark Kent, Planet.
And in operation, this stabilizer is one of the most effective yet devised, representing an investment in years.
How'd you like to be making the test flight in this, Lois?
Maybe I will.
Fine chance.
Everyone off, please. Everyone off.
Come on, Lois. That's us. Say, by the way, Lois. Lois.
Nothing will interfere with voyage to Tokyo.
Help! Help! Japs are stealing the giant bomber. Hurry up!
Attention, all pilots. Giant bomber being stolen. Take off immediately.
Well-placed bomb will stop pursuit.
This looks like a job for Superman.
Where you are. Leave plane immediately, or girl will be released.
Okay, little man. You win.
you're safe in this plane, Lois.
I'd feel much safer if Superman were here.
Well, that was a great cartoon. We hope none of you were scarred by the insensitive depictions of some characters in this cartoon. Now, let's get back to our friends in the castle, Drac and Countess Carita.
Ooh, oh boy, that was a great cartoon. Thanks, Cupcake and Cuddles.
As I've already told you, tonight's movie stars one of the masters of horror films. Would you like to take a guess who it is, Drac?
Well, I don't know. I've already been told it isn't me.
No, it isn't you. But go on and take a guess.
Well, could it be maybe Bela Lugosi?
No, but you're close.
Oh, well then it has to be Boris.
Right. Tonight's movie is Dick Tracy Meets Gruesome, starring Ralph Byrd and Boris Karloff.
And you'll also recognize Skelton Nags in this movie. You'll remember him from House of Dracula. And in Dick Tracy Meets Gruesome, oof, he looks just like a Chester Gould Dick Tracy cartoon villain.
And Anne Gwen plays Dick Tracy's girlfriend, Tess Trueheart. You'll recognize her from House of Frankenstein.
You know, this movie was made in 1947, and Karloff is billed as Boris Karloff. But earlier in his career, right after he had hit pay dirt with Frankenstein, he was just listed by one name, Karloff. And you know, in the entertainment industry, that's an honor that's reserved pretty much for performers that are really at the top of their game. You know, performers like Frank, Sammy, Drac.
Oh, brother. So let's get the movie started. Dick Tracy Meets Gruesome, starring Ralph Byrd and Boris Karloff.
Tell Melody to come here, but get moving.
Somebody wants to see you, Melody. So tell him to look. Yeah, well, you'd better look. Standing right over there.
Gruesome, I'm so glad to see you. When'd you get out?
Relax, kid, relax. Rode the rods all night to get here.
Oh, swell. Did you break out?
Good behavior. Where can we talk?
Outside, come on.
Hey, you, where you going?
Outside, this is my pal.
You're on the ivory.
Yeah, I know. I'll be back. Maybe.
Be back in 10 minutes or you're out of business.
With you in town, that piano job don't mean nothing.
You have anything in mind?
Yeah, something really big.
Where is it?
Ain't far. Only the big boy ain't okayed me yet.
He'll okay me.
Yeah, that's what I figured.
Sounds like an interesting setup.
With you in on it, it's worth $1 million.
Big stuff grows in strange places, eh, Melody?
Here it grows out of test tubes. What do you want, Melody? I want to see the doctor. I got the right guy to handle that job for her.
What is your friend's name?
Gruesome.
Isn't he? Come in. Our employer is in the midst of an experiment. Your friend will have to wait.
Go back and finish your job.
I don't need that job now.
Go anyhow. I'll handle the doctor.
Okay, I'll see you tonight, huh? Boy, am I glad you're in town.
Make yourself comfortable, but please don't touch anything.
No? Why?
It isn't advisable.
Come on, Mac, up. Oh, come on, get up over there.
What's the trouble, Carney? Oh, just another drunk. This is the 5th time I've called the wagon tonight. I'm on my way down to headquarters to pick up Big Tracy. Can I take him along for you?
Now, that I'd appreciate, Pat.
Well, where is he?
He's lying in the doorway of that joint back there.
Carita Trueheart here along with Drac Tracy. and it's time for Drac Tracy's Crime Stopper tips. Do you have a Crime Stopper tip, Drac?
I sure do, Carita. You know, those do not remove labels on mattresses are there for a reason. Well, what the reason is, nobody knows. But they're there for a reason. So if you've seen somebody remove one of those labels, you've seen someone in the act of committing a crime, and it's your civic duty to report it.
Really?
Really.
Seriously?
Seriously. And the same thing goes for the tags on pillows. Remember, see something, say something.
Okay. Join us again for Drac Tracy's Crime Stopper tips.
That's funny, Pat. Not enough alcohol to have killed him. Yet no pulse and no heartbeat.
So what did the big lug die of? A broken heart?
I don't know, but Doc Ross can tell you tomorrow after the autopsy. I've been in this racket a long time, but I've never seen anything like this before. You say he was limp when you picked him up 10 minutes ago?
Limp as a playboy's alibi. 10 minutes later, he's like this.
Then it wasn't time for rigor mortis to set in.
No time at all. Want to take a guess at what's eating him?
Yes, I could guess, but it wouldn't mean anything. Except I think it's a case for homicide.
Careful of your language, Frankie. He died in my car.
But he didn't get whatever's wrong with him in your car.
Right. So a corpse coming out of hangman's knot's got to be murder, huh?
Probably. You say you found this on him?
Loaded for bear. And his suit had the feel of a big house hand-me-down.
That's sharp observing.
Ain't it?
Why don't you have Tracy take a look at him?
I think I will. But if he has the answer to a drunk turning to stone, I give up.
Happened not once, but several times.
Thanks, Sarge.
I wouldn't go in there now, Pat, if I was you.
You mean I shouldn't go in?
Nobody. Dick's got a VIP in there.
VIP? Vic?
A very important personage.
In that case, I'll knock. Excuse me, Dick, but I think I just brought in a homicide. Anyway, he's a mighty funny stiff.
Funny? I'll be right with you.
Come over to the morgue, huh?
Right. I'm sorry, Dr. Tomic. Go on.
For instance, when I'd arrive home at night, I'd find figures lurking in the shadows near my house.
Why didn't you report this sooner?
I hoped that my wife and I were wrong, that these people weren't really stalking me at all.
What makes you so sure they were?
And 2 attempts were made within a week to run me down by car.
We have a lot of reckless drivers in this town, Doctor.
Yes, I know, but
Why do you think someone wanted to kill you?
I don't know. I've no idea. Of course, like many scientists, I'm working on new and rare formulae at the university all the time.
Very little we can do for you, Doctor, but offer you police protection.
I dislike troubling you, but I am worried.
Well, Chief, this isn't a case for me, so if you don't
Run
mind...
along, Dick. We'll take care of the doctor.
I'm sorry I can't stay, but my assistant has a slight case of homicide on his hands. Good luck.
Now, see here, Doctor. Let's review the facts.
Pat.
Did you get his number?
Sure. What happened, Pat?
Well, you're asking me. I'm sitting here, see, writing out this report on the stiff. All of a sudden, blackout. Something hit me here. A crowbar, maybe, or a small bulldozer. I don't see how anybody could have got in here, Dick. Frankie put the stiff on this slab. He was out cold, just like he is now. The stiff, the mug, where is he?
Looks like you had a drunk who woke up, Pat. He just outfoxed you, that's all.
Outfoxed me, huh? I tell you, he was dead. Oh, don't look at me like that, Dick. You know I haven't had so much as a short beer since I joined the force. I tell you, I brought in an absolutely dead stiff.
Okay, but if that's true, then you're just confused. There's a stiff in the other room.
What? Why didn't you say so? Come on. What I want to know is who moved that stiff. So he outfoxed me, did he? What's that make you?
I admit it, Pat. He tricked me, too.
1 minute he's dead. The next he slugs me, tricked you and vamoosed.
Smart man.
Smart? He's weird. I tell you, if I didn't know better, I'd swear we were doing business with Boris Karloff.
Looks that way.
Melody. Did you find him?
Would I be back here without him if I did? Oh, that stuff he got must have killed him.
Nonsense. It was one of the early experiments of the doctor's miracle formula.
But what did it do to him?
Potent but harmless. It just rendered him helpless.
Helpless? Oh, that's great. Gruesome helpless and the cops hot on his trail?
Exactly. So he is of no use to us any longer. If he does come back, you must tell him the deal is off.
What are you talking about? That guy knows his way around.
He is no good to us now. We must be rid of him. The doctor...
The doctor will be disturbed by your stupid chatter. You'll get rid of who?
No, please, Gruesome, he didn't mean it. He needs you. We all need you, Gruesome, please.
Exactly. As the doctor just said, you know your business, but I know mine.
You mean you've spoken to the doctor?
Yes, I've had a talk with him. You're a disgraced doctor of science, correct?
Yes, but I...
No buts. The doctor stumbled on a great racket, but he needs me to make it work for him. So from now on, you two will do exactly what I say. Now get in there, keep your mouth shut and listen. Tomorrow is the most important day in your stupid lives.
Two and a half minutes to go.
Hey, Harry, come here. I told you to get that cat out of here. Now get him out.
Afternoon, Mr. Trueheart.
Hello, Mr. Stone.
10, 20, 30. How's Mr. Tracy?
Well, he's fine, thanks. Bye.
Goodbye.
There's something wrong with him. And him.
You heard.
Timed it perfectly. The air's clear. Lock the door.
Hey, Gruesome, I wonder if you look as silly as they do.
Lock the door.
Who?
Pardon me, Mac, do you mind?
What's the matter, buddy? Dandruff?
Melody.
Yeah, come on, Gruesome.
Dick Tracy, homicide, quickly. Hello, Dick. Listen, I'm inside the Grove Street branch of the First National Bank, witnessing a robbery.
Dead? Frozen? Okay, honey, don't lose your nerve. We'll be right there. This is Tracy. Notify all cars in the area to 4th and Grove. Bank robbery, First National.
Carita Trueheart here, along with Drac Tracy, and it's time for Drac Tracy's Crime Stopper Tips. Do you have a Crime Stopper tip, Drac?
I do, Carita. You know, drug houses used to be an exclusively urban problem, but not anymore. Drug houses like meth labs are popping up all over the country. They're dangerous, they blight neighborhoods, and they diminish the property values of hard-working, law-abiding citizens. So what can you do about it? Well, something must be done. Because as I've told you, a meth lab can be very dangerous. It has flammable vapors inside that could be set off into a huge explosion with just a small spark. So I'd suggest a string of firecrackers tied to a brick, or maybe even a Molotov cocktail, and then meth lab problem solved.
Really?
Really? Kaboom, Carita!
Kaboom, Drac! Join us again for more of Drac Tracy's Crime Stopper Tips.
Let's get out of here. Gruesome, there was a dame in that book. Oh, look, it's
Probably died before he hit the ground.
Move these people back. Move back a little, folks. Come on, move back now. Come on, move back.
Take care of everything, Tim.
Okay, Dick.
Tess, come out of it.
Come out of what? I'm all right.
Well, she's alive anyway.
If I hadn't been in the booth, I'd have gotten it too. But you see...
Wait a minute.
Aim it on Thursday or the bank will be forced to foreclose.
But I tell you, I can't.
You heard the man say they want a cash bonus?
Oh, that's it.
Mr. Crandall. Mr. Crandall.
$1 worth of change, please.
Yes, of course.
Thank you.
You'll have to leave now, sir. It's 3 o'clock.
You see, pal, you were only half dead.
I don't question your word, Mr. Tracy. There undoubtedly was a bank robbery, but not here. Not here.
They sent you to the wrong bank.
Mr. Banks, over $100,000 has disappeared.
Oh, that's fine.
Right under our noses.
What? This is the most amazing thing I've ever seen.
2 minutes ago, everybody was paralyzed. Frozen stiff, and now look at them. They're perfectly normal.
No one leaves until everybody's been questioned. Line them all up over there.
Right, man. This way, folks.
How many men in the stick-up crew?
2.
Did they wear masks?
No, one was coarse-looking, and the other one was...
Fine, tell me later. How long was it between the freezing act and their entrance?
About a minute.
You mean this knockout stuff was instant? Right away?
Well, it couldn't have been more than 2 minutes at the most.
How do you feel?
All right, Mr. Tracy. That's what's so darn queer. I still can't believe I was out cold for 12 or 14 minutes. Just wait till I tell my wife. When I get...
All right, now, I'd rather you told me what you were doing and how you felt when this stuff hit you.
Sure, you bet. Like I was telling your sidekick here, I'm standing right here watching the clock, see? Not that I'm a clock-watching guy ordinarily.
Skip it, pal. Get to the payoff.
Huh? Oh, yeah, sure. Like I was telling your sidekick, you see, it's my wife's sister's birthday, and I says to myself, I says, Humphrey, when you get home...
He was pulling down the shade.
Yeah, that's right. How'd you know? Here, like this. Like this I was. Had it about there. No? Here, maybe.
Well, did you feel yourself slipping?
Nah, positively no warning at all.
Do you think you were the first one affected by this gas?
No, the first man to go was standing right over there.
Well, show me how he was standing.
All right. As I remember, he was standing right here with his coat open, like this.
Well, that's enough. Take him with you, Pat, and see if you can find that man. Come on.
Or was it like this?
Relax, Cabby. Let's find
I
the
know
guy.
I had one hand sticking out. Now, let's see. You've had everyone in the bank checked on.
Everyone. They all have legitimate addresses. No suspicious characters.
And you're having the screwy gas analyzed.
Fred has what was left in the shell casing. I expect a report any minute.
And the getaway car was stolen.
Picked up on the turnpike. No distinguishable fingerprints.
The banking commission is panicky, Dick. If this gets to the papers, they're afraid of a wholesale run on every bank in town.
I told you Tracy was busy.
It's okay, Sarge. Tracy wants to see me, right?
Dick has nothing to say to the press, Dan.
No? In that case, the press has a hot word for him. It's headlines. Shall I go?
It's okay, Sarge.
Thanks. What I have to say should be private, boys, for your sake.
Spill it, Dan. We're busy.
I know, and stumped. Fellas, I was the only news hawk to get to a certain bank before you had everybody's mouth buttoned up like a West Pointer on inspection.
How much do you know, Dan?
Remember the bank guard with the end of gab?
You can't print a word of it, Dan.
Look, Dick, I play ball usually, but not with gas bombs. This'll be the biggest thing hit the streets since George Patton broke the bulge.
This is a war of a sort, too, Dan. A war on small investors. If you break silence before we can move in, no bank in the state can escape a run on it.
How long do you want?
24 hours.
I'll settle for the 4. That'll get me in the final edition.
We won't have a thing in 4 hours.
That bad, eh?
Right now, we haven't got a lead to the of bloodhounds.
So, then I think my readers should know what they're up against.
Give us till morning, at least, Dan.
Say, Dick, this is an absolutely unknown chemical. We've given it every...
Yeah.
Why don't you look before you yap?
Unknown chemical. 20 people frozen to the spot by absolutely unknown chemical while bank is casually robbed of at least 200 grand.
It was only 100.
Thanks, that much I didn't know.
Until morning, Dan, please.
We don't sell a morning paper, Dick.
Exclusive, Dan. You can sell it to the syndicates.
To hit the morning rags, I'd have to have all the details by 2 a.m.
2 a.m., you highbinder. Well, that's only 10 hours from now.
You're quick, Chief.
Okay, Dan, it's a deal. 2 a.m.
Good luck.
I'm sorry, Chief.
Forget it. That ferret could dig salt out of Big Rock Candy Mountain.
This chemical is so new, it isn't even registered. Is that it, Fred?
Yeah, that's right, Dick.
Think Dr. Tomic at State University could spot it?
Sure, if anyone could.
Tomic. That's the man who was complaining about threats on his life.
Yes, top-flight physicist. Look, Chief, with only 10 hours before the panic hits, it's about...
It's worth a try. What else have we got?
Well, there's always Pat's living corpse, but...
Oh, that. A shot in the dark.
So is this. But if Tomic can tell us what it is, we at least have a lead.
May I help you?
Yes, I'm Dick Tracy from headquarters.
I'm so glad you've come, Mr. Tracy. Have you any news of him?
Of whom?
Of Dr. Tomic. Isn't that why you're here?
But I came to see him. Is anything wrong?
Well, yes, but I thought you knew. He's disappeared.
When?
He left home early this morning and hasn't been seen since. His wife was very worried, and I thought she reported his absence to you.
It's the first I've heard of it. Are you his assistant?
Yes, I'm Professor Learned. You will find him, won't you, Mr. Tracy?
We'll certainly try. Can you think of any reason why Dr. Tomic would want to disappear?
No. What did you have in mind?
Nothing in particular. Still, I'd like you to check any special or secret formula he might have been working on, just to make sure they haven't been removed.
Of course. Will you wait here, please?
I'd rather come along if you don't mind.
Oh, not at all. Dr. Tomic always keeps his most valuable formulae in that locked cabinet. They're quite safe there.
You have the keys, of course.
Yes, but I'm certain nothing has been disturbed.
Would you open it anyway, please?
Very well.
Do you know what each of these bottles contains?
I know they're chemical symbols, if that's what you mean.
Not exactly. Could any of them, say, mixed with another chemical, form a dangerous gas?
I hardly know. These particular ones are in experimental stages. Only Dr. Tomic could tell you that.
How about this clear liquid on the end? What's its purpose?
I really don't know. It's so new it doesn't even have a name.
New, huh? Is that so? But I'd like to...
Oh, please don't touch anything, Mr. Tracy. At least until Dr. Tomic returns.
If he returns, huh?
You mean there's a chance that he won't?
It's part of my job to see that he does. You won't mind my taking a little of this for testing?
Well, I hardly know what to say in Dr. Tomic's absence. Perhaps we can test it here. In fact, I'd be glad to test it for you.
I'd rather take it with me.
Very well.
You see, there was a bank robbery today. Some strange chemical was employed. Everyone in the bank was transfixed, frozen to the spot. Startled?
Shocked. You see, I work so close to science, I have every reason to dread the creation of such gases.
I didn't say it was a gas.
Well, what else could it be?
I don't know. But it was a gas. Doesn't seem to stain or burn the surface, does it?
No.
Anything in it that will hurt me if I taste it?
I think not, but I can't be too sure.
Let's see. Tastes like water.
Many chemicals do.
Get me an empty bottle and a rag, will you? Professor Learned.
Yes?
Could a man in Tommy's position be leading a double life?
Hardly. He's one of the most respected men in his profession.
Yet he came to headquarters complaining of attempts on his life the night before he disappeared. It's been my experience, Professor, that could be the act of an innocent man. Or of a man covering his tracks.
Perhaps, but not Dr. Tomic. His whole life is an open book, beyond suspicion.
I guess you're right.
I know I'm right.
Well, thank you, Professor. I'll be back when I have this analyzed.
Very well, Mr. Tracy. But it isn't water.
Probably not. You've been a big help. Goodbye.
Goodbye, Mr. Tracy.
I still say you didn't have to shoot him.
But Gruesome, he saw us coming out of the bank.
Seeing and identifying weeks, maybe months later, are two different things.
But
You're just a trigger-happy young mug you always were. Better get over it.
You're a fine guy to be bawling me out.
Useless killing's dangerous. Well, it's about time.
Yeah, we thought maybe you took a powder. Hardly. That's good. Gruesome hates Welchers.
I don't hate dead ones, Melody.
Our employer is a man of honor. There's one for you, one for you.
What are these, Valentine's?
The doctor is very businesslike. That is your remuneration.
Mine's kind of thin, is?
Not much thinner. Gruesome got a bonus for not killing a policeman.
How do you like that?
We don't like it. We don't like it at all. Go back and tell your employer I'm not an employee. I'm a partner. I want 50%.
What about me?
I'll pay you more than you're worth. Goodbye, X-ray.
Well, I'll ask him.
No, tell him. 50% on everything.
Very well. Oh, our employer told me to tell you he wishes you would not come to the laboratory anymore.
At all?
At all.
I see. Tell him I'll do what he says for exactly 15 minutes.
Oh, please.
Unless, of course, you're back within that time with half the take. Better hurry, X-ray.
Gruesome, you're terrific.
Remember that melody.
Sure, Gruesome. Sure.
We found him right about here, Dick.
Let's take a look around inside. Maybe we'll get a line on something.
Loosen the bolts.
Hey, you.
It's him, Dick!
Carita Trueheart here, along with Drac Tracy, and it's time for Drac Tracy's Crime Stopper Tips. Do you have a Crime Stopper tip, Drac?
Hi. Yeah, I'd like to place an order. I'd like a large pepperoni and mushroom pizza. A side salad. House or Caesar, Carita?
House.
Make that a house salad. Italian or ranch?
Ranch.
Ranch dressing. A side of cheesy breadsticks, jalapeno poppers, an Italian sub, a 16-pound turkey with stuffing, a honey-baked ham, a pound of potato salad, 2 roast monkeys, 2, an order of deep-fried grubs, and a gallon of black coffee.
Is that all for you, Drac?
Well, no, you get the salad.
Oh.
No. Oh. And a dozen donuts, okay? 30 minutes? Got it. Okay. All right, are you ready for a Crime Stoppers tip?
I think we're out of time now, Drac.
Oh. Well, then let this be the Crime Stopper tip for tonight. You can't fight crime on an empty stomach. So eat hearty, and then always make sure you throw the first punch.
Thank you for that informative tip, Drac. Join us again next time for more of Drac Tracy's Crime Stopper tips.
Yeah, it was him, Dick, that drunken stiff.
Where did he go?
He got away.
Well, that's a lead anyway. What happened to you?
What happened to me? I was standing right over there, and all of a sudden, I was... No, I'm not going to tell you.
Come on, Pat. What happened to you?
Okay. I was bit by a tiger.
Oh, that tiger!
You're sure that you can identify this man, Tess?
Yes, I'm positive he's one of the bank robbers.
Good. Now, if he'll only live long enough to start talking.
Dick, we've rounded up some of the people who ran the bank. They're out in the hallway.
Okay, Pat, bring them in. Tess, you better wait in the chief's office.
All right.
Tess did identify him.
Yes, but that's not enough. We've got to find one of those bank witnesses who saw him in or around the bank about 2:45.
Why 2:45? Couldn't he have planted the bomb at 2:30 or even before that?
No, the janitor emptied the wastebaskets at 2:45. So if anyone saw this Byrd in the bank after that time, he planted the bomb.
Nurse!
What's wrong?
Well, he can't die on us now.
Get those people in here, Pat, quick.
Okay, folks.
Sorry, Dick, you'll have to leave. He's much too ill to have anyone in here now.
But just 2 minutes, Doc.
I can't do it. He only has a 50-50 chance as it is.
Well, that's that. Have those people go to my office, Pat. We'll do what we can.
Okay, folks, let's go.
First of all, I want to thank you people for coming. Now I'd like to ask you a few simple questions. Does anyone recognize this man?
I'm sure I never saw him before.
Well, now, I'm a bank guard, you see.
We know that.
Of course you do. And you know that bank guards have to be observing. Now, if that man was at the bank, it stands to reason I'd remember him, don't it?
It does, do you?
No.
I could be wrong, Mr. Tracy, but I think that man passed me at the bank door. I think he was coming out as I was going in.
Do you happen to recall what time that was, Mr. Thal?
Yes, I do. I looked up at the clock as I came in. It was exactly 10 minutes to 3.
Good. Turn around, Luke. Obviously, this man wearing the bandit's clothes is not the bandit. This is a drawing of the actual man. Would you say you'd seen this man before, Mr. Thal?
I'm almost certain that's the face of the man who passed me at the bank door.
Thank you. Anyone else see him?
No.
All right. That's all. Oh, one thing more. Please don't any of you discuss this case with the newspapers. That's very important. In fact, I'd rather you didn't discuss it with anyone for a day or two. And thank you again.
Sir?
We're going out now, Bob.
But I'm coming in.
I've still got 6 hours, Dan, and nothing to say.
Nothing to say about a top-flight scientist who's missing?
Hello? You're talking Greek, Dan. Yes, Chief.
Don't give me that. You knew Tomic was missing before I did.
Just a minute, Chief. I've got the human ferret in my office. Tomic? Who's Tomic?
A physicist, my boy, with an assistant named Learned, remember? I'm giving his disappearance a build-up tonight, Dick.
Wait a minute, Dan. I'll call you later, Chief. You gave me your word, Dan, and I still have 6 hours left.
Then you do think Tomic is involved in the bank robbery?
I honestly don't know. But if he is, and you publish his disappearance, it might spoil everything for me.
All right, 6 hours. But I get first break at anything you uncover, right?
Right, Dan. Keep your nose clean.
Hello, Tess.
Hello, Dan. What's new?
Ask your boyfriend. Dick, this'll...
Hold it, Fred.
Oh, you again.
Goodbye, Dan.
Be seeing you in about 5 hours and 22 minutes. Dick, this is the door.
Quiet. I think I know what you were going to tell me anyway. I should see a certain professor at State University right away, correct?
Correct, and quick.
I'll see you later, honey.
But we had a date for dinner.
I'm having mine with a professor.
Oh, well, since it's only a professor.
A beautiful, feminine professor.
And you expect me to be here when you get back?
No.
Then I will be.
That's what I thought.
Goodbye, Dick.
Bye.
Over an hour since I talked with you.
I'm sorry, I had important business. You look worried, dearest. What's the trouble?
That chemical I stole for you. What did you do with it?
I used it for my anesthetic experiments. What do you suppose?
I suppose you either gave it or sold it to a gang of bank robbers.
What are you talking about?
The police are analyzing the water I substituted for the formula I stole for you.
Well, what of it?
The moment Dr. Tomic returns, they'll know I substituted the water.
Oh, we'll be far away by then.
What if he returns now, tonight?
He won't, Irma.
You've done something to him.
He's perfectly safe. He'll return home in due time, quite unharmed.
I can't go through with it. That detective, I can't go on lying to him. I don't know how.
It won't be for long.
He had hardly left when a reporter came. He asked me so many questions, I didn't know where I was.
Did he ask about Tomic?
Of course.
Splendid. His disappearance will make headlines. Tracy and his cops will be forced into a manhunt that will leave us in the clear.
I won't help blacken the character of a decent man. I can't.
Very well. Tell them. Tell them everything. Is that what you want, Irma?
Oh, darling, you know it isn't. But can't we do something? Can't we go away? Now, tonight?
Police have requested that I don't leave town. Your friend Tracy.
Tracy? What?
Do you think I put that formula in the hands of thugs? I placed it in the bank myself.
You didn't. You couldn't.
I had to, Irma. I tell you, with Tomic missing, we're in the clear. There isn't a thing to worry about, dearest. I'll drive you to within a block of your house, huh?
No, I'll walk to the cab stand. We can't risk being seen together.
Good evening.
Oh, Mr. Tracy, how did you get here?
It was easy. Illegal, too.
Illegal? What is?
My breaking into your place and searching your things without a warrant.
I should think so. Why did you do it?
Why did you tell me I wouldn't find water in that bottle?
You didn't.
You're a biochemist. Why try to pretend you didn't know what was in that bottle?
You forget, Mr. Tracy. You tasted whatever was in it, not I. I was so sure it wasn't water that
Why?
Why? Because I can see no reason why Dr. Tomic would make such a substitution.
Neither can I. In fact, I don't think he did.
But obviously he had to. He and I are the only two people
Who have the key to that lock. So I say you made the substitution, not Tomic.
If what you found in that bottle really was water, and you're not just trying to trick me because of some fantastic notion that I mixed up with bandits, then all I can say is, Dr. Tomic put it there. I didn't. And, might I suggest that you spend your time looking for him instead of badgering me?
I'm badgering you because I think you know something about his disappearance. Either you're shielding him or you're shielding someone else.
Why? Why should I? Do I look like the kind of person who goes around shielding bank robbers and murderers?
Frankly, no. But I think you got in over your head. And now you don't see any way out but lying.
I'm not lying.
I think you are. Consider this, Professor. Whoever got hold of that formula will stop at nothing to keep it. Murdering a bank guard is only the beginning. Right now, they're accused of murder. If you're involved in it, you're an accessory to murder, and your only chance of getting less than hung is to play ball on the right team.
But I tell you, I don't know anything.
I heard you the first time. Just the same, when I leave here, I advise you to get in touch with someone.
Who?
Whomever you're shielding. Tell them that no amount of money or fame or love or whatever it is you're doing it for is worth putting your neck in a noose. It's a nice neck, Professor. But that murdered bank guard had 4 kids. They liked his pretty well, too.
You cover the back. If she doesn't come out in 2 hours, go back to headquarters.
Right.
Hello, Lee. I can't stand it. You've got to take me away.
I tell you, there's nothing to worry about, dearest. You'll feel better after you've had some sleep.
I can't, Lee. I'm going to tell them the truth.
You can't do that. Not yet, dearest. It's risky, but perhaps we'd better leave town tonight.
But I thought you said you couldn't.
Perhaps I can find a way, but you must meet me at once and talk this out. Very well, Irma. If we don't figure a way out, I'll go to the police with you. But we must talk first, Irma. I'm not in this alone. Meet me at Sixton Park in 10 minutes. Walk there and be sure you're not followed. Goodbye.
You can't meet her, of course.
What are you doing here?
I told you.
I'm telling you. You can't meet her. The cops saw you in the bank. This is a frame-up between the girl and the police.
Oh, nonsense.
She's frightened and so are you. Listen, I'll meet her. You're known to the police, too. I've handled them before. Give me the keys to your car. All right, but don't bring her here. No, sure not. Say, you spoke of a cottage on Brand Lake? Yes, that's it. Take her there. Route 76, Cottage 14. Just off the road. Tell her I'll be up later tonight. You'll convince her she mustn't go to the police? Oh, yes, I must do that. You're right. We must. Gruesome. Yeah? Take care of her. She's all I have. Sure, sure. I understand.
I'm Drac, and this is the Borgo Pass Report. Oh, our top story tonight. Our top story tonight. Our top story tonight.
What?
Aren't you going to ring the bell?
No, why?
Well, because every time you run in here and sit down at the news desk, you always have breaking newses. Don't you have any breaking newses?
No.
You don't?
Mm-mm.
Are you sure?
Pretty sure.
Okay. Then our top story tonight, whoa! Looks like we got breaking newses. For more on that, we go to our Countess, Carita. Carita?
What?
Don't you have breaking newses?
No, I just told you I don't.
Then why did you ring the bell?
I didn't want to disappoint you.
Oh, okay. Thanks.
But I do hear that Madame Watercrockanova has a message from the dead for us tonight. Are you there, Madam?
I am here, Carita.
And tonight you have a message from the dead?
I do. Tonight's message comes from a Mrs. Edna Wilson of Avenue C in New York City. You see, I wrote it down. So she says, please tell the super of my building, Mr. Jackson, that I have dropped dead. 3 days ago is when I dropped dead, and my poor cats are eating me.
That's horrible.
It is.
Of course it is. Eventually those poor cats will run out of water, and they'll die of thirst.
Which could happen soon. If they are dining off of Mrs. Wilson, they will be getting awfully thirsty. Carita, you're right. Because from what I hear, she is a very salty old broad. That's why I had to edit some parts out. Not proper to show on TV anywhere.
Thank you, madam.
My pleasure.
If anyone watching tonight knows Mr. Jackson, could you please let him know that Edna Wilson's cats are eating her decomposing remains? Well?
Well, what?
Aren't you going to say it?
You mean you really do have breaking news this time?
I do.
Well, okay. Go ahead, ring the bell again. Whoa! Looks like we got breaking newses. For more on this, we go to our Countess Carita. Carita?
Thanks, Drac.
Sure.
We're getting word that a giant brain, the brain from planet Arouse, has landed here on Earth and is taking over people's bodies everywhere. This is leading people to become aroused. In fact, everyone is getting so highly aroused that nothing is getting done. We'll keep you posted on developments in this late-breaking story as they arise. Now we go to our man in the field, Renfield, with a special report. Are you there, Renfield?
I am. And I have a guest with me this evening. I'd like you to meet the lovely Mariah.
Hold on a second, Renfield. Carita, could I see that last story you read?
Sure.
Carita, this doesn't say that the giant brain is from the planet Arouse.
Yes, it does.
No, it says that the giant brain is from the planet Eros.
Oh, like Eros, the Greek god of love? No wonder people are getting so aroused.
No, Carita. Eros, the Greek god of love, is spelled with an E. Eros is spelled with an A.
Oh, okay. Drac,
What?
are you aroused?
Oh, yeah, sure. Constantly. So, viewers, we stand corrected on that story. The giant brain is not from the planet Arouse. It's actually from the planet Eros. Now, let's get back to Renfield. Are you there, Renfield?
Mariah, I'd like you to meet my Countess Carita and my master, Drac. Who? Drac and Countess Carita. Never heard of them. Well, say hello. Hi, whoever you are. It was pretty rude of you to keep us waiting like that.
Oh, hello.
Yeah, pleased to meet you. And sorry to keep you waiting, but you know, we're kind of in the middle of a news broadcast here.
Yeah, whatever. Perhaps you'd like to ask Mariah a few questions. If you do, make it fast. We already ordered dinner and it should be here any second.
No, that's fine.
Good. We would have been okay for time if you hadn't kept us waiting. So, in my last report, I told you that I was going to post videos on some dating sites. That's where I met Mariah. We met on the dating site. No, we didn't. Yes, we did. Shh, that's just for hooking up. Mr. Renfield and I actually met a church Sunday ice cream social. No, we didn't. Yes, we did. It was a beautiful Sunday afternoon ice cream social. Mr. Renfield had a big bowl of vanilla ice cream. You can't say that. Why not? Because everyone knows that it's not true. Everyone knows I'm lactose intolerant. Isn't that right, Master? You know I'm lactose intolerant, don't you?
Oh, boy, do I know it. A bowl of vanilla ice cream would be toxic. Oof. Oh, and I'll never forget the time you had that extra large chocolate shake. Oof. I had to air out the castle for a week.
Yeah, and I had to burn my pants, and I like those pants. I miss them. Shut up and ask the waiter for more breadsticks. I'm starving.
Well, Renfield, good luck with your date. Mariah seems like such a lovely woman, and it looks like you're off to a great start.
Thanks, Master. Waiter!
Man, she did look familiar, didn't she?
She did.
Do you know who she is?
No, but I do feel like we've seen her before.
Well, if you remember where, let me know. Well, that's all the time we have for this time. We'll see you next time on the Borgo Pass Report. You know that Mariah may have had a horrible personality, you know? But she was a handsome-looking woman.
You think so?
Yeah. Carita, have you ever thought about raising a beard?
No.
Not even something small like maybe a Van Dyke or a goatee?
No.
Sideburns? Well, I guess it's just as well. Because then we'd have to sign you up for that $1 Shave Club. And goodness knows we get enough mail order coming in here. You know, you should have seen the packages that were on the drawbridge today. You know? Yeah. They're waiting in the foyer for you.
Most of those are for you.
They are? What'd you get?
And now, here's an editorial comment from the Borgo Pass news director, Groucho.
Groucho here, the Borgo Pass news director with an editorial comment. Well, spring is upon us, and I have a letter here that's been written to me on that very subject by a very loyal viewer, and I'd like to share it with you. It reads, Dear Groucho, that's me. Spring is here. Ah, spring, when a young man's fancy turns to love. And an old man's fancy turns to pretty much the same thing. Except in the old man's case, it's called lechery. And just what's wrong with that? The young man and the old man are thinking about pretty much the same thing. But the old man gets the bad rap just because he's old. Well, he may be old, but he's not dead. The old man should be encouraged for having his lecherous thoughts, especially by the young women he's having them about. They should be flattered and accommodating. The old man should be supported for still having that old school spirit. And what's wrong with the young man that his fancy only turns to thoughts of love in spring? Just what is he thinking about in summer, autumn, and winter? Why, it's not natural. He must be some sort of a degenerate. At least you can rely on the old man. He's consistent. He fancies fancy all year long. And just when does a young man become a dirty old man? Well, it has to happen somewhere in the middle. You see, there's the young man, the just plain man, and the dirty old man. Well, somewhere in the middle, man loses his focus. It's time for all men to get their focus and regain their priorities and follow the example of dirty old men. Be brave. Be bold. Be a dirty old man. Sincerely, your pal and biggest fan, Groucho. That's right, that's me. I wrote this letter to myself. Why? By putting it down on paper, it's a reminder to keep my priorities straight and not be ashamed of what I am. So now, if you'll excuse me, I'm going to go out and traipse around and sniff the spring flowers. And whatever else I can sniff around. I'm Groucho, the Bargo Pass News Director, and this has been my editorial comment.
This has been an editorial comment from the Borgo Pass News Director, Groucho.
Better get rid of that car quickly.
Why, what's wrong with it? Where is she?
Picked up some bullet holes on the way. She is dead. I told you to get rid of that car.
You killed her. You killed her.
What do you suppose I do? She was leading Tracy directly to you.
No, she wouldn't.
I say she was, but right now we've got to get rid of the evidence here. All of it, you understand. Now go start that fire.
Must there be more killing?
If we have to. We've got to get Melody out of that hospital tonight and then clear out of here.
I've been to the hospital. He's in a coma. The doctor wouldn't even let him be seen. He'll be dead by morning.
You're certain of that?
As certain as I can be.
Good. And we're in the clear.
You don't care about anyone, do you?
Listen, if you want to stay alive, you'll do as I say. Now start that fire. I'll be inside.
You expect me to use that fire?
Call me when it's ready. What would you do without me?
I'd even find Dan and romance him if you thought it would give you a little more time.
Thanks, but he's already married to a typewriter. There's one consolation, though. Those crooks are just as worried as I am. Their killing that girl was an act of cold-blooded desperation.
Do you think Dr. Tomic had her shot?
That's anybody's guess. You trace the license number?
Sure, stolen plates. But if you put 2 bullets into the back end of that car, we'll pick it up in no time.
Time is something I'm fresh out of.
If Dr. Carver could only fix up those other 2 crooks so they could talk.
Said he'd call me in 10 minutes.
It's been 15.
This is Tracy. What about that smashed-up piano player?
Just time.
What? When?
About 10 minutes ago.
Thanks.
Oh, no.
We could have sweated it out of that guy. But he had to go die on us, too.
Well, dead men tell no tales.
What did you say?
I said dead men tell no
But
tales.
sometimes they do, Tess. Sometimes they do.
Where are you going?
See the chief. Get an okay on an idea that'll make Dan and his papers think I'm a prime heel.
Here he comes. Now's the time.
Isn't there some other way to...
No, not unless you want to end up joining Tomic.
Where's the good doctor?
Why, in there.
Call the hospital?
Yes, no change.
Good. I'll stay here till we know if he's alive or dead.
It's dangerous to hide you here.
Dangerous for whom?
All of us. Police will try to trace the driver of my car.
I'll stay here.
Very well.
There's a small bedroom in there. You may use it. And there's whiskey in my desk.
True hospitality. Oh, Doctor, why did you close that window?
The smoke from the incinerator.
I see. Won't you join me in a drink?
I never indulge.
Doctor? Yes? Come on in and join me, won't you?
No, thank you.
Come on in, both of you. Listen, Doctor. The smoke was blowing away from that window. Now, what are you trying to pull?
All right. All right, Gruesome. Hold everything. X-ray, get rid of that bomb!
Don't move, X-ray.
Don't shoot me, Gruesome, please.
Newsflash. Dangerous bank robbers expected to be rounded up within 12 hours. Homicide's famous Dick Tracy has just revealed that one of the robbers of the Grove Street branch of the First National Bank has been captured after suffering severe injuries in a wild chase by the police.
He's alive.
5 minutes ago, Tracy reported that the injured bandit will be able to talk by morning. He added, and I quote, "When this man talks, we will round up the most dangerous gang of criminals in this city's history." We now return you to the piano.
That announcement saved your life, X-ray.
What?
I need you. We gotta get Melody out of that hospital.
But that's a police hospital. Why not leave him there?
Yeah? To talk and spoil a perfect setup? No, we gotta risk it.
What about him?
What about him? He's dead and Melody isn't, worse luck. Go on. Evening.
Evening.
Got a Corporal Duggan in 312. We came to pick him up.
Wait a minute. What's the name of that surgeon again?
Major Allen, 291st General.
He's new to me. So are you fellows?
Just been transferred from out west.
Oh, well, go on up. Do you know how to work it?
Like the fingers on my hand.
That's the gorilla, all right. They came in an Army ambulance. Give me the phone, Pop. This is it. They're on their way up. Roger. Don't stop them coming down either, Pop.
You wait here. If anybody questions you, remember where you're from.
291st General.
Right.
I'm sorry, no one allowed in there.
I have orders to take his temperature every 4 hours.
Yeah?
That's right.
Well, in that case, I'll go in with you.
How are you, Melody?
Why do we bother getting birds like him well just so we can kill them?
Odd, isn't it?
Yeah.
Lost?
Me? Hardly. Just waiting for them to, just waiting.
Oh.
Hey.
What's the matter?
This man is running a dangerously high temperature. You better send for the doctor.
Not me, buddy. My orders are to stay right here.
In that case, I'll do it myself.
A good idea. What happened?
It's in the wastebasket, Tim.
You want me to throw it out?
No, leave it there.
I know, but if this stuff makes people freeze the way you say it does, I won't be of any help to you.
That's right.
I know, but you're unarmed. I don't like this. Hey, this stuff has started to smoke.
It should.
Mr. Tracy, I'm beginning to feel funny.
So am I, Tim. So am I.
Should be clear now.
Yes, I understand. Mr. Patton told me to let him go. Huh? You're right. Here they come. Oh, sure. Patton saw the ambulance. Right, sir. Bye. Oh, I see you got your man.
Thanks, we did.
Say, who do you guys think you are parking here? Can't you read?
Sorry, we didn't see the sign.
Didn't see the sign. What kind of an excuse is that? Who are you guys? Where are you from?
291st General Hospital.
What?
291st. Will you please step aside?
General, huh? That was my old outfit, and they sold these 41 crates a month ago. Where'd you pick it up?
Look here, this man is dying.
Yeah, and I got a rush call. So what? You know what I think? I think you guys are a couple of cadaver snatchers. I'm going to take a look at this stuff.
Now, wait. The other one.
But this is ours.
That one won't be spotted so quickly. Put him in that one.
I hope nothing went wrong. What good? Tim would never leave Dick. Hey, here comes an ambulance out.
Carita Trueheart here along with Drac Tracy, and it's time for Drac Tracy's Crime Stopper Tips. Do you have a Crime Stopper tip, Drac?
I do, Carita. You're out shopping, you're returning to your car, and you see that your driver's door is open, and someone's legs are dangling out of it, because they're laying on your floorboard and hot-wiring your car to steal it. Well, what should you do, Carita?
Call the police?
That's not what I'd do.
Shout, "Stop thief!"
Oh, you don't want to do that, because whoever's stealing your car is a hardened criminal, and there's no telling what they're capable of doing.
Well, then what would you do, Drac?
Well, this is what I'd do, Carita. I'd take a few steps back to get a good running start, and then I'd run as fast as I could, throwing all of my weight into my driver's door and smashing it on that thief's legs. Boy, won't he be surprised. And you know what it would be like? Have you ever seen one of those UFC or kickboxing matches where one opponent goes to kick another one and he actually breaks his leg on that guy? Huh? Well, that's what's going to happen here, except it's going to be twice as much fun because you're going to break not one leg, but both of them. And if you've ever heard the screams on those UFC matches of the guy screaming when his leg breaks, you ain't heard nothing until you've heard a thief screaming because you just broke both of his legs. That's what I'd do. Then I'd drag the guy out of the car and drive away.
And what if you drive over the thief while you're driving away?
Well, Carita, I think you can turn it into a sport. You could get extra points for each bone you break as you roll over the thief's body. Yeah. The record that I've heard is held by a guy in Detroit. 47 bones.
Join us again next time for more of Drac Tracy's Crime Stopper Tips.
with the boys?
No, they're driving an army crate. That one belongs to the city hospital.
That was a clever piece of work, Gruesome.
It almost misfired. Paul told you that corporal's name was Joseph Duggan. It was really John. How is he?
He's still under the effects of the gas.
Start up the fire.
Not Melody, too.
Start up the fire.
What's the matter, Bud?
Ask the guy who stole this crate.
Yeah, and mine. Yeah? You mean a big mug and a little guy with glasses?
Yeah, with a patient on a litter.
Well, I'll be a... That gorilla outsmarted me again. They pulled a switch. We've got to follow that white ambulance.
How do you know where it went?
Huh? That's right. Sparks, this is Patton. Put all cars on the lookout for a White City Hospital ambulance. Get that? Yeah. It's carrying 2 killers and Tracy unarmed.
Up here, Tracy. I'm not going to come in after you. I don't have to. Remember the bank? You got about 60 seconds left. There's no other exit, Tracy. This is the end of the line.
So this is the baby that caused all the trouble, huh?
Yes, that's the last of those devilish gas bombs, Pat. As soon as Dan has had a look at it, we'll file it in the archives of lethal weapons.
I want to see you, Tracy.
Well, take a good look, Dan.
What's the idea of selling me out to those radio vultures? You made me a promise.
Promise? Who is this fellow, Pat?
Don't know. I never saw him before.
You promised me an exclusive story.
Story? What story, sir?
He could mean the story of the capture of a gang of bank robbers, Dick.
Capture? When? Where? It's all here and it's all true. Give me that. Okay, Dick?
In about 25 seconds, Pat.
Sorry, can't wait.
Maybe I ought to tell you about it, Dan.
Some other time. Aren't you going to read it?
Gotta make that deadline. This is the biggest story I ever had anything to do.
Well, that's our show for tonight.
We hope you enjoyed spending time with us and Dick Tracy. We'll see you soon, and until then, keep your friends close and your enemies decapitated.
And as always, remember, fly right. Boy, you know, Carita, that Dick Tracy at the end of this movie, boy, did he show some self-control, huh?
What do you mean?
Well, I mean, you know, at the end of the movie, he and Gruesome, they'd been fighting, and Gruesome, you know, Karloff, he gets knocked out, and he's on that conveyor belt, and he's riding up that conveyor belt where he's going to be dumped into that fiery blast furnace, and Dick Tracy turned it off. I don't think I would have done that.
You haven't.
No, I haven't, have I?
No. I can still hear all those agonizing screams ringing in my ears.
It was such sublime music.
It certainly was. I'll always think of those screams as our song.
Oh, it was beautiful. Ah! Ah! Oh! 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 Ah! It's hot in here! Oh! Ow! 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 Oh! I'm gonna get blisters! Right? And we'll be right back after this fade out. Ah! Oh! Ow! 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 Ow!
Drac and I were recently saddened to hear of the passing of actress and artist Veronica Carlson.
You'll remember Veronica Carlson from her appearances in the Hammer horror films Dracula Has Risen from the Grave and Frankenstein Must Be Destroyed.
We had the pleasure of meeting Veronica at a Monster Bash convention a few years ago, and she was a real sweetheart, especially considering that Drac blindsided her by asking to do an impromptu interview with him.
Well, yeah, I kind of did that. You know, it was at the end of Friday evening, and I approached Veronica Carlson in the lobby of the hotel as she was getting ready to go up to her room, asked her to do the interview, and she was a bit hesitant and reluctant at first because she was saying like, well, I don't know, it's been a long day, and how do I look? I feel like I don't look my best. And I said, Veronica, baby, you're the best looking Veronica Carlson in the joint.
He really did that. But Veronica did agree to do the interview and followed Drac into the room along with Monster Bash staffer Dan Weber.
And once she was in the room, she relaxed, she started laughing and joking, and before the interview ever started, she was telling us stories about some of her co-stars and her career, like here where she's telling me about how tall Christopher Lee was.
And here she is the following day when I gave her a Drac button to officially make her a member of the Drac Pack. And so we thought it would be fitting to share that interview with you again.
So here it is, from June 21st, 2019.
Drac interviewing Veronica Carlson.
We are very honored to have, probably, doggone it, the most special guest we could have here, Veronica Carlson, who we know from all of those wonderful Hammer films. Which were they?
Dracula's Risen from the Grave.
And the one you did with Peter Cushing?
Frankenstein Must Be Destroyed.
That's right. Now tell us, you started before that. How did you break into acting?
I often wonder about that when I think about it. It was a very strange story. I was in college. I was doing I was working in the arts. They had judo classes late at night, so I attended a few of those. And somebody said, "Oh, Pinewood Studios is looking for somebody who knows something about judo." So I had the gall to turn up to Pinewood Studios, dressed in my little rice sweater and my little ski pants, olive green, you know, with the things under the strap. Very boring. And I walked onto the sound stage and there were all these ladies in bathing suits and bikinis with tans. And I thought, oh my, I'm in the wrong place. And I tried to edge out towards the stage door, and the producer and the director did this. And they said, "What can you do to this stunt girl?" And I said, "I can throw her over my head." So I threw her over my head, so I got a role. But then I got a lot of publicity for that film. And my photograph was seen eventually by Jimmy Carreras, simple as that, coming out of the waves. I mean, on one of the major newspapers at the time, Sunday Mirror. And he said, "I want that girl in my next Hammer movie." So I went up for an audition, got the audition, and that was it.
And that was, did several films for Hammer, so it was a very good experience working at Hammer?
It was absolutely wonderful. And my goodness, they were the happiest film days that I could ever imagine. And there isn't a lady that I know or another person I've worked with that can say the same thing.
That's
it was a very
beautiful.
happy family of people working together.
Now, earlier we spoke briefly, and you
Yes.
said you had great respect for both of your co-stars in those films, Christopher Lee
Oh,
and
yes.
Peter Cushing.
Oh, yes.
Could you tell us a little bit about Christopher Lee?
Well, I was a very small person, not knowing anything, and he was this majestic man who looked. He's 6'7" to start with, okay, so he's very.
Stand up straight.
So I was thoroughly intimidated. And I had an anticipation of he's going to be he's going to look down on me, and he's going to. I couldn't have been more wrong. This man was the most gracious. I've got a photograph at home with his arm around me and Barbara Ewing. We were just joking together. He was approachable, totally approachable. He had a great sense of humor, and he was utterly delightful.
Because you usually think of Christopher Lee as being stoic, but those were his characters.
Those were his characters. He was a lovable man.
And Peter Cushing in Frankenstein Must Be Destroyed.
Yes.
How was he to work?
He was a lovable man.
Yes.
It sounds unlikely in this day and age that this is so, but this is how it was. And Peter had a lovely wife, and the photograph of Helen was on every set we ever worked on, because I worked with him later in the Ghoul, and I would go on as early as I could on the set to see where he'd put the photograph of Helen. There was always a photograph of his wife there. These were the days when they were gentlemen. They were really, there was no of these, what we're hearing these stories now. It was a romantic time in my life.
And it was a very uncharacteristic scene in Frankenstein Must Be Destroyed.
Oh dear, yes.
And they had set up through the entire series since the late 1950s,
Yeah.
the Dr. Frankenstein character to be a very sympathetic character. But then he did something so uncharacteristic in a scene with you when he attacked you. How did Peter feel about that, do you know?
He was horrified. We worked there. I remember Jimmy Carreras coming in. The doors banged open onto the set, and he had this paper waving in his hand, and he was saying, "We have to do this. We have to rewrite the script. There isn't enough sex in this scene. There isn't enough sex in this film." And he thrust the papers at Terry Fisher. So Terry Fisher took them and looked at them and sort of read them, and looked at Peter and looked at me, and just threw them in the air, and they all landed everywhere. So Peter and I were scrambling to see what on earth they were talking about, and we realized what they were talking about, and we couldn't understand it. So I got into a very distressed situation, and so did Peter. Roger Moore heard about it on a separate soundstage. He was a friend of mine. I'd worked with him on the same.
She knows everybody.
Yeah, he came over to comfort me. The whole thing was ridiculous.
It was just a very, I would imagine, intense scene to shoot.
It was horrible. We tried to talk about it, Peter and I. We went to dinner and we discussed it, and the more we discussed it, the worse it got. So we thought, and all Peter could say to me was, "Remember, it isn't me, darling. Remember, it isn't me." That's all he kept saying, and he was so near to tears, and I didn't want him to think so either. But the original scene, the reason I was so upset was they wanted to strip my nightgown to expose me to my pubic bone, so I was totally naked. And that was not in, I would never have done that. Never, and it was not in any contract. No nudity, absolutely no nudity at all.
Now, something else a lot of people may not know
Right.
is that you live here in the States now.
Yes.
In South Carolina?
Yes.
It's lovely. How did you end up expatriating from England to South Carolina?
Well, that's a very long story, actually. I think it's too long for this program. But we came over for a holiday once, twice, 3 times, and it was a beautiful place to be, where we lived on Hilton Head at that time. And we came back, and the weather was so beautiful, and there'd been a break-in at my home, and it changed the atmosphere of my home. I was attacked, and my daughter's life was threatened. And somehow England lost a bit of its charm at that point. So we decided to come here and give the children a lovely life here. We taught them to swim. The first thing we did was teach them to swim. The water everywhere.
It was our game. It was America's game. So, the other thing I wanted to ask about is, I see that you do artwork now.
Yes, I've always done it.
Yeah. And you have some artwork available?
Yes.
Anywhere? If somebody's watching and would like to get one of your prints, how do they do that?
That's a very good question. I need to get on Facebook. I really do. I'm so backward on these things.
Are you on Facebook?
Yes, I have a person, Michael Reed, in far-off state of...
Well, we want you to join our page, the official Drac fan page, right here on Facebook. Can you do that for us?
I would love to do
Oh, I would love to have you.
I would love to do that.
Yeah. And you know what? Once you do that, you have prints that maybe people would be interested in, because I know you've done beautiful pieces of Peter Cushing and some of the others you have behind your table here at Monster Bash.
I've been able to donate portraits, I'm glad to say, for Ralph Bates when he was dying of he passed away of pancreatic cancer. I was able to donate a portrait of Ralph to that foundation, and when Peter passed away, so I can use it to good use. It's not just, for my own gratification.
That's beautiful. Thank you very much. And I will have to tell you, this is the highlight of Monster Bash for me.
Oh my goodness.
Is talking to this stunning Hammer Beauty Queen and having her agree to talk to us for the Monster Channel.
That is incredibly gracious.
Thank you, Veronica.
What a lovely Drac you are.
Oh, would you rather Christopher Lee bite you or maybe Drac?
I know.
Now, Chris isn't here, so he won't mind.
I'll feel my neck.
Oh, I can't resist this. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me here.
God bless you.
Program. Thank you.
Transylvania Tonight is a Fly Right production.